Welcome back to Extra Time Futbol and Norway versus Ivory Coast. What a game. What a way to finish. Gutted that I wasn't able to watch this game in its entirety. I had to work today, so I did have to miss the majority of this one, and I did have to watch it through the highlights. I did catch snippets of it through work, thankfully, so I was able to catch here and there moments. I did watch the first goal for Norway, and I missed the equalizer, but I did catch the late winner too. So I'm glad to catch at least two of the three big moments of the game. But let's dig deep into this one. This one was the toughest one in my opinions to predict going into. These are two heavy set teams where they are both strong in one area. Norway has a strong attack with Holland. Ivory Coast has a strong defensive game. Like they are solid, they are rock solid in the back. You just can't, it's hard to break them. We saw Germany struggle with them, but I guess really that doesn't mean much now, seeing how sad we saw Germany go out. Ecuador struggled against them. Curacao, we're not even going to bring into this because they have nothing to do with this. They have shown to be a strong defensive side. They do have some strong offensive players like Nicolas Pepe, Jan Diomande. These are studded players that are going to create chances, are going to make the most happen for your team. But if the ball is not going through them, if it's not creating through them, nothing's really gonna get on the scores for you. It's sad to see, but if they aren't, it's not that if they're not clicking, but if you can neutralize their game good, then you have a good chance of stopping the Ivory Coast. But still, overall, a great game for them. They started off good defensively. They were keeping Holland quiet for the majority of the first half. Holland had two early on in the first half where it just didn't have much to them. But to end the first one around the 40th, 41st minute, he did have a shot that was brought down to him, and Holland on any other day puts that away in the back of the net. Easy sitter for him. I know it was a little bit contested, but easy sitter for him. Didn't get enough power behind it, unfortunately, for him, and it was saved by the defender to keep the game just 1-0 right there, so that you're going to halftime losing 2-0. But I just want to backtrack a little bit before Holland had that moment. Musso, what a strike! What a way to put your team 1-0 up. With like 7-8 minutes left of the first half. What a way to get on the score sheet, score your first World Cup goal, I believe. Sorry, not Musa, Nusa. Great way to cut into your right foot and just put that top corner. I know we've had a lot of great goals this World Cup, but given the circumstances now that we're in, knockout stages where the pressure's on, where the lights are brighter, the situation of the game, the moments, that one has to be a contender for goal of the tournament. Yeah, there's probably been better ones. It's hard to think off the top of your head of all the great goals we had. Which was the best one. I would have to go looking back, and I'm sure there have been two or three better ones than this one, but you had to throw this one at least top five best World Cup goals. Just putting it top ins like that, a top corner. What a strike, and what a way to get your team up in the first half. The Ivory Coast did start clicking a little bit more on the offensive end in the second half. Within the first 10 minutes, they did have a shot that almost equalized them back and brought them back into the game. Unfortunate for them, fortunate for the Norwegians, though their keeper made a great save right there. So sad way to see them stay off the score sheet, but they did come with the stronger offensive side. The next biggest play that we had after them was that goal line clearance from the Ivory Coast, keeping the Norwegians off again. Number 17 here strikes it within the box from a corner. Unfortunate for him not to put that away. Very, very unfortunate, but the Ivorian right there to clear that on the goal line. What a way to keep your team still in it. Still keep it at 1-0 where you're still within reach. If Norway would have gone up 2-0 at that point, it would have been GG's. They would have ran away with the game, and who knows if the Ivory Coast can even get on the score sheet to begin with. If that's the case, and they just blow them out of the waters after that point. But fortunate for them again, just keep it 1-0. And a few minutes later, we had that great play from Amad Diallo. Basically does it all on his own. Gets into the box. Yeah, does a 1-2 play with one of his teammates right there. Gets it back. Finishes all by himself inside of the box. Enters. What a great goal, too. What a great way to bring your team back level in this game and put a fight again. You're giving yourself a chance to either extend it to extra time at this point or be able to even get a winner late on. We'll dive deeper into what happens at the end in just a moment. But, Diallo, great way to get your team back in. Another great goal, a solo effort goal, and, two World Cup goals for him. Unfortunate not to see Jan Diomande get on it in this game and, not see more from him happen. But still happy for Diallo to get on the score sheet again. When we were getting to the last 10, 5-10 minutes of the game, you could have said that, okay, maybe this game will go into extra time and it would just be a more hard fought effort there. But no, there's one name that just comes onto the game, Holland. Like I said, this man can be quiet the whole game, but he's the type of player that will force your team, that will win games for you and push you to the next round. He could have been quiet this whole game and maybe not had that many opportunities or much to do, but he shows up when it mostly matters. Yeah, it was a tap in. It's like when you're playing FIFA and it's a 90th minute and they just do a sweaty cross across to beat you in the last minute with a sweaty goal. So I feel the pain of the Ivorians, right there. So no worse feeling than losing it like that with a tap in at the end of the game. But Holland, he's a game changer for a reason. He'll show up when it mostly matters, and he puts Norway 2-1 up. They were saying it was Norway's first major competition since the 2000 Euros. So first international tournament since 2000, and what a showing they've done for themselves. Great showing in the group stage if we don't count the France game, and they've already won their first knockout game. Gutted for the Ivorians. I know that it was mentioned earlier on too that this was the first time in their history that they had even qualified to the next round. So huge congrats to them. I was really impressed with what I saw from their game in this World Cup. Unfortunate to see them go out this way and in this in this matter of all ways too. Last minute tap in, but it is Holland, one of the world's best, if not the best striker right now that there is, and potentially could put up a fight to be one of the best strikers of all time too. But Holland does it. Uh, Ivory Coast had a shot late on to into added time. Free kick outside of the box, left shot. Ball, if you're just looking at it from first instance, I thought that was a goal. I was watching it at that point. I was able to pick up those final minutes. I saw that as a goal, but the keeper made the save of the tournament for Norway. His left hand alone kept Norway up in this game. Unfortunate for Ivory Coast not to score there, but huge congratulations to Norway on getting that first knockout win in this tournament. I really am rooting for you guys to make a deep run. I am gutted for the Ivory Coast to go out now. I really would have loved to see them go further in this tournament, especially because of Yan Diamande. I'm a huge fan of him. I would have loved to keep seeing him play more, but let's see if he makes a big move this summer and goes to a bigger team or a bigger league. I know the German league is still pretty good, but let's see if he can break out into the Premier League and we get to see him more often. Lastly, we have some great games later today, so let's hope that it brings us nothing but better football. And that's going to do it for this one. If you did enjoy this video and you are enjoying the content so far, I would really appreciate it if you can like and subscribe, as it does mean a lot to the channel. Hopefully I get to catch you again soon on the next one.